So conclusions of this. So all the statistics and all the hypothesis test is about detecting signal in noise. So the bigger the gap, the larger the signal will be. So you have fluctuations in your measurements, and then you will want to detect whether this change that you are seeing is above the level of noise. So you have these fluctuations of the noise and this signal that is well above the level of noise. Sometimes it is not as easy. Here you also have a signal, it says a signal here, but it is very little above the level of noise, so it is hard to say. And same here, so you have some variability of the underlying signal, but it is embedded in a lot of noise. So the sample size calculation, I would say it is more about finding the right option in the program and understanding the questions than filling the form. So filling the form, once you have understood the questions, it is relatively easy. But the difficult part is to make the mapping. So what is the right way of calculating the sample size in my case? If your experiment is important, that we all think our experiments are important, they deserve to be correctly designed. So it is not that you do the experiment in any way and then once it is done you realize you have done a mistake. And also the animals, the research animals that participate in your study, they deserve that your experiments are well designed. So if they will suffer from diseases, cures, treatments, so they really deserve that you think about what you are doing with them. And the funding agencies and the general public that are paying their taxes, they also deserve that you use the scientific funds judiciously. And statistics is a complicated tool, so you don't need to do the calculations by yourself. There are programs for that, and also you can always team up with someone who can do the calculations, who is familiar with this kind of calculations and can do the design. So you don't have to do everything by yourself. So team up, and this is really my recommendation: team up with someone who is capable of doing this. Or if you are really interested in learning by yourself, there is a lot of information out there and courses, so that you can follow them. But be really an expert. And statistics, unfortunately, it is a very useful tool, but it is also difficult to handle. So I like this sentence: if you think that education is expensive, try ignorance. We can translate it into: if you think that using statistics is difficult, try not to use it. So statistics is a very useful, sophisticated calculation tool. So it is like this fancy calculator here that can do many things, can simplify a lot of things, a lot of analysis that otherwise, if you have to do by hand, they're really difficult. So for instance, I learned to do logarithms with this kind of tables here, and calculating the logarithm in a calculator, it is trivial, but calculating a logarithm in this kind of tables was much more difficult. And calculating before the tables, we had also these calculating rules. So these calculation rules, they were even more difficult to use. So you statistics is this fancy calculator, very powerful. You can do a lot of analysis, but it is more difficult to use. And it is actually the user guide of this calculator. It is 400 pages long, but if you want to make an efficient use of the calculator, you don't need to read all these pages, but you need to know how to, if you need anything, how to go to the index and read about how to do that thing in this calculator. The problem with statistics is that it is much longer than that calculator. If you look for statistics just on the web, you get 6,000 or 6.5 thousand millions of pages just in English. If you count in all languages, you would get many more. If you look for Michael Jackson, actually you get 500 million pages in all languages. So that means that statistics in English is 13 times more or larger than Michael Jackson in all languages. So this is a very sophisticated calculator, really sophisticated, very powerful, can do many things, but it is also hard to use. So with this, I would finish this short presentation, and I would really encourage you to team up with someone who knows how to use this calculator, or if you want to learn yourself, you are more than welcome to do it, but be aware that it is something very powerful, you will enjoy a lot, but it is also a very large calculator. So if you want to use it right, you will have to learn how to use it. That will be all.